If you crawl under a rusted 2007 Tacoma with a flashlight, you'll hear the problem before you see it. Knock on the rear frame rail, and instead of a solid ring, you'll hear a dull, hollow thud. Run your finger along the boxed steel, and it comes back orange, covered in the fine grit of rust. Push a screwdriver against it, and it goes right through. Hundreds of thousands of these trucks rotted from the inside out. Most of the clean ones left today are survivors of a filter almost nobody talks about. That's why on June 28, 2026, a well-kept 2012 Tacoma with 23,000 miles sold on Bring a Trailer for $29,250. Its original price was $31,885. After 14 years, it lost almost no value. That is the anomaly. This channel exists to take anomalies like it apart. Welcome to Bear Block Chronicles. The rare example grabs attention, but the average tells the real story. In the used market, the typical second-gen Tacoma now sells for about $32,600, close to its original price. Even without collector auctions, a regular 10-year-old work truck still goes for nearly what it cost new. That's not typical for depreciation. Most vehicles lose about half their value in 5 years. IC Cars says the Tacoma keeps about 80% of its value, while Kelley Blue Book puts it closer to 63%. Both numbers are the best in the midsize segment. J.D. Power also named it the most reliable midsize pickup for 2 consecutive years. This is why a clean second-gen Tacoma costs so much. Timing makes it even clearer. In late 2025, over 20% of new car buyers with loans agreed to payments exceeding $1,000 per month, setting a record. A paid-off Tacoma isn't just compared to its old price anymore. Now, it's compared to a new truck that costs $50,000. Let's start with why clean trucks are rare. Scarcity matters more here than reliability. The second-gen's frames came from a supplier called Dana out of Maumee, Ohio. The steel left the plant without enough corrosion protection. Salt found the seams. Water pooled inside the boxed rails where no inspector could see it, and the metal began eating itself from the inside. By 2016, Reuters reported that Toyota faced up to $3.4 billion in costs. Toyota's own bulletin said 887,000 Tacomas were covered out of about 1.385 million trucks and SUVs. The settlement then divided the fleet by measurement. If a frame had a hole 10 millimeters wide or more, about the width of a pencil, it got a full replacement worth about $15,000. Anything smaller just got a coat of corrosion compound, which many owners saw as a temporary fix for a lasting problem. So, location made the difference. Trucks from the Salt Belt were either moved, sprayed, or scrapped. Trucks from dry states often stayed in good shape. Many of the clean ones just didn't make it past the 2010s. Here's the tough part about timing. For 2005 to 2010 trucks, the frame coverage has now ended. That $15,000 risk is no longer Toyota's problem. It's now up to the next buyer. This is where things get even stranger. That filtering process changed the market. A clean Tacoma stopped acting like a typical used truck and started to act more like an asset. Look at the numbers as if you're reading an investment report. A 2012 Tacoma that cost $31,885 new and now sells for about $32,600 has done what almost no other product does. It kept its value. It didn't grow like the S&P or gold, and inflation still had an effect. But compared to other trucks that lost half their value, a clean Tacoma acted like an inflation hedge you can drive. The secret is in the formula. It has a 4.0-liter V6 engine with 236 horsepower, no turbo, and no hybrid battery. When you shift it into low range, the transfer case lever moves with a solid mechanical clunk you can feel. It's simple enough to fix at home, and tough enough that buyers see high mileage as a plus. That's why owners don't want to sell. In a market with so few clean trucks, holding on to one is like holding a valuable investment. Selling means you'd have to buy back in at a higher price, possibly on a platform you trust less. Every truck that stays off the market makes the supply even tighter. You're not just paying for stories about reliability, you're paying to get a truck that can't be built new anymore. So here's the obvious question. If these trucks are worth so much, why doesn't Toyota just make them again? First, there's the paperwork. A brand new 2008 Tacoma couldn't be sold today without changes. It would need to meet current safety and emission standards, including the rear visibility rule for vehicles built after May 2018. The old truck was made before that rule took effect. Next come fuel economy rules, which actually reward bigger trucks. Federal targets are based on the vehicle's footprint, wheelbase times average track width. The bigger the truck, the easier the target. The fourth generation Tacoma got larger in both ways. Its wheelbase grew from about 127 to 132 inches, the long bed to 145, and the track widened by about 3 inches on some trims. Bigger trucks get easier miles per gallon goals, so the rules encourage Toyota to build larger models. But here's where most people get it wrong. If stricter rules kill the simple truck, then relaxing them should bring it back. In 2025 and 2026, federal pressure dropped, at least officially. Congress set the maximum CAFE penalty to 0. The EPA took back its greenhouse gas endangerment finding. A proposal called SAFE 3 would lower the 2031 target from 50.4 miles per gallon to about 34.5. The law that was blamed for ending the old Tacoma is gone, but the truck hasn't come back. That's the clue. The company's strategy has moved away from just following the law. The real reason is money that's already been spent. Vehicle programs are set years before production and usually last about 5 years. Toyota calls its TNGA platform Smart Sharing, which means spreading development costs across 6 different models. Making a unique old-style truck doesn't fit that plan. So, the Tacoma moved to the shared platform aimed for higher-end trims like Trailhunter, TRD Pro, and hybrids, and switched production to Mexico in 2021. Simply put, Toyota is using the Tacoma's legacy to pay for today's costs. The final barrier is a tariff. Toyota still makes a simple truck, the Hilux in Thailand and other countries. Bringing it to the US would mean paying the 25% chicken tax on imported light trucks. Building it in Mexico would avoid the tariff, but it would require a new factory, hurt Tacoma sales, and rebuild a global platform just for one market. Toyota could do it, but the business case isn't there. If you're looking to buy one, the price tells you to focus on condition and paperwork, not just the model year. With an average price of about $32,600, you're paying almost as much as a new truck just to avoid new car payments. That's negative arbitrage, so make sure the truck is worth it. Get underneath with a flashlight. Knock on the rear rails, a clean frame rings, while a rusty one sounds dull. Check which warranty program applied. The 2005 to 2010 class action coverage is over. The 2011 to 2017 trucks had a different cold climate program. A truck with a documented replacement frame is valuable. An uninspected salt belt frame could cost you $15,000. Don't believe the myth that these trucks are flawless. Remember, recall 14V604 covered leaf springs that could break and puncture the fuel tank. Some four-wheel drive models develop a front differential noise that disappears in four-wheel drive. So, if a truck has a lift, inspect it even more carefully, it's not just a badge of honor. Check where the truck was built to. The first digit of the VIN tells you 1, 4, or 5 means it was made in the US, 3 means Mexico, but the VIN tells you more than just birthplace. Before you send any money, run a VIN check. Our sponsor, Epic VIN, can help with this. An Epic VIN report shows title history, reported accidents, odometer readings, and any open recalls or warranty issues. That way, you can check for the leaf spring recall and see if the frame was ever replaced before you buy. The link is in the description. For a truck at this price, a clean history report is the best insurance you can get. The new Tacoma isn't the enemy, it's just a different product, and it already has brake hose and driveshaft recalls affecting about 222,000 units. A proven second gen is a known risk. The new model is still building its track record. So why won't Toyota build this Tacoma again? It's not because it was banned. No law actually forbids it. Rust took most clean trucks off the market, and business costs made the old formula too expensive to build. Even after the rules blamed for its end were repealed, the truck didn't return. That's the answer. It was about strategy and numbers, not a ban. What sells at these auctions is the last version of a truck that the system no longer rewards. It survived by chance, and now sells for a premium because it can't be built new anymore. At Bear Block Chronicles, we dig into the reasons behind the prices, until everything makes sense. So tell us, what do you think your clean second gen is worth today? And would you sell it if the price was right? We want to hear from those of you holding on to a truck the market says you should never let go of.